Good people, kama kawa kama dawa, we are here to offer some civic education and also to speak the truth. Things that you'll not hear from the mainstream media, but you will get them here on social media. So let's get into it. Now, there's an adage that says, the greatest fear, the greatest threat, and the greatest thorn in the flesh of any despotic, kleptocratic, and kakistocracy regime is a mass of the people who are educated. Yes, education threatens despots because they know educated people can clamor for accountability. They can clamor for transparency. They can clamor for responsibility. And this is one thing dictators do not want. It's either their way or the highway. And when your population is not educated, they can be manipulated, they can be brainwashed, they can be hypnotized, and they can be indoctrinated. This is a place when the leaders say jump, those who are not educated will say how high. But if a population is educated, they will ask why. And the moment you say why, it pokes the bloated ego of these despots who think they are the best things to happen after sliced bread, that they have the capacity and brain to reinvent the wheel from being round. That's how despots are, and Kasongo is one of them. What is clearly happening in our education sector, it is not by default, it is by design. These people are deliberately killing our education sector. Tell me how 800,000 students are at home because they cannot transition to grade 10. And what is even perplexing and mind-boggling is the fact that in 2025, we secured a loan from the World Bank of 180 million euros. That translates to billions. And it was purposely meant for grade 10 and CBC education. And that money was released in the month of December 2025. And the same will be financed back by taxpayers come 2029, I mean. Now, this loan was explicitly for grade 10. It was meant to provide textbooks, scholarships for needy students, build classrooms, and free lunch for grade 10. But what we are hearing outside here is a different story, a catastrophe. Government is saying there are no books. Parents are being told to buy books. No new infrastructure in terms of classrooms. Scholarships, where are these needy children going to go? Where is this money that was meant for them to be educated? And where is it 800,000 kids are out of school? These are the hard questions we need to ask this government, because clearly that money has been embezzled or it has been diverted to unnecessary things. That loan was borrowed under the name of our students, our children. And that money you'll get, it has been allocated to ministries under the disguise of administration and consultation nonsense. If loans are borrowed in the name of our children, why do offices benefit more? Why is an office benefiting more than a classroom and a student? Where do you want all these 800,000 children to go? The purpose is to have every children in school. And then you hear Kasongo saying that he's fixing that mess. That people should stop their pontification. And he was targeting Matiang'i and trying to blame Uhuru. Okay, fine. Uhuru's regime carries blame because they implemented CBC hurriedly and without a feasibility study. But people, let us not forget, who was the deputy president at that time? Wasn't it Kasongo? He was part of the presidency. He sat in the cabinet. He signed off things. And if he disapproved, why didn't he resign? He chose to keep his position. So he's part and parcel of that mess. And he's come to become president. He's exacerbated the mess. Leadership is not about trading blame. It's not about pointing fingers. Leadership is accepting other people's mistakes and rectifying it. Apologizing on behalf of those who made that mistake. Bearing the brunt of their mess and working towards giving a solution. But trying to point fingers at Uhuru and Matiang'i, that regime is gone. And if you feel they messed, hold them accountable. Go and arrest them. You have the instruments of power. Go and arrest them. But do not take podiums, start chest thumping, blowing your trumpet, trying to deflect blame from yourself and pointing it at a past regime. All for political mileage, expediency and posturing. And then you go and make a declaration at pointing fingers to the Ministry of Education that every kid should be allowed to enter grade 10. You do not transform the education by goodwill and political statements in markets, in rallies, and on top of sunroofs. No, you create structures. You framework policies. And after those kids are admitted, what happens to uniform? Where do they get uniform? After they are admitted, chakula itatoka wapi? It's a whole process. It's a whole value chain. You have the powers to direct parliament, your cabinet, to come up with proper structures and policies to make education affordable and accessible. Teachers are not being paid. Lecturers are not being paid. Universities do not even have money to maintain their operations. Kids are out of school. There are no textbooks. You have a clueless, a rudderless, and incompetent CS for education and that PS. They do not even know how much it costs government to educate one child. These are things he should have at the tip of his fingers. And this is the problem of rewarding positions, political patronage. Certain dockets need competent people. People who have a stake in the education sector. But just not picking somebody from, what is it called, Nyaribarishashe, and rewarding him with that. A clueless, incompetent. So this education sector, they are deliberately destroying it. They have money to build stadiums. They have money to disperse Nyoka Fund, Nyota Fund. Budget being given to the president is in the billions. Budget being given to State House is in the billions. The DP's office is going to spend I don't know how much billions to procure for him transport, choppers, planes. At development. What development does a deputy president do? The core function of a deputy president, you're a principal assistant to the president. What development are you going to undertake? That is nonsense. You have money now, you're saying you want to build 25 stadiums across the country. We don't need stadiums. We need classrooms. We need textbooks. Of what value is a stadium if it's only soccer that is being played? After that, it becomes dormant. And it's no longer an asset, it's a liability because it's not generating revenue. We do not need stadiums. We need classrooms, textbooks, uniform, and food for our children. We are not begging for education. Education is not a privilege. It is a right. And it is not a tool to be misused for political expediency. This is the worst government ever. Bure kabisa.
Wote waende nyumbani tu. Na tumejam. Si uongo. Tunafaa tu reset. Kila mtu tu ako kwa gava, ka ushaiserve kwa gava uende home. Juu tumechoka. Mimi nadai kuona new faces kwa government. Nadai wase wanasema wanafanya vitu na wanadu. Nadai wase wenye wanaweza keep their word. Na so government yote mimi sitaki kujua ni nani, we ni nani ama nani.
Better than the best. Better than the best. Better than the best. Can't this. Baby, go in a delight, nice like it would. Go in a delight, nice like it would. Go in a delight, nice like it would. Go in a delight, nice like it would.